I'm going to make a prediction, and it's not really profound, but I can guarantee you it's going to come true. In fact, by the time that most of you see this video, it'll already be happening. Actually, two predictions. This is Friday, October 14th in the evening. By this time tomorrow, probably earlier than this time, two things are going to happen. Your phone is going to be ringing off the hook if you're on Medicare, even more than it did last year. I know it was probably overwhelming, but a lot more Medicare marketing, telemarketing centers have popped up in the last year. So that activity is just going to increase. And the other thing that's going to happen, just like last year, but probably a little bit more, is you won't be able to turn your TV on for more than 4 or 5 seconds without seeing a dang Medicare commercial. In fact, there's probably 4 or 5 of them running right now as I'm speaking. So it's not really news, but that activity is going to increase. So yes, this is another Don't Talk to Strangers video, because when you do that, you don't always get you don't get an honest representation of everything that's available to you, and they're pushing, one thing over another thing. So, for example, this is an iPhone, and this is an Android, and they basically do the same thing, right? They make phone calls, but you got all the other things that they can do. Well, anybody can make one of them sound better than the other. If I want you to buy this one, I'm not going to tell you about the good benefits in this one. I'm just going to tell you about all the goodies here, and vice versa. So that's what they're doing. So, for example, if you have you see one of those TV commercials with a company, a company name behind it, well, that's the company. And what do you think they're going to do when you call them? Are they going to say, you probably ought to just hang up, call that other company down the road? They're not going to do that. That's not in their best interest. It might be in yours, though, because you don't know what they might not have the best plan suited for your situation. So that's important to know. The other thing is you need to have somebody who can spread all your options out in front of you and explain everything, and not be biased toward anything, or not try to push you toward anything in particular. And a lot of them do that. And I've had to undo a lot of mistakes by people that are my clients, because they called in, they were curious, they wanted to find out about all the free stuff. And that's generally those commercials are what I call them BS. It stands for bait and switch. I'm sure you get the analogy, but that's what it is. They're not going to tell you everything. That, like I said, they've got one job when they call you. So I'm just going to say it again: don't talk to strangers, because when you call one of those TV commercials, or take one of those phone calls, you might be doing the equivalent of crawling into the back of a van because the guy told you that there was free puppies, and you could go back there and pet them and stuff. But they're not going to tell you about all the, the guy didn't tell you about all the bad things that could happen. He's just focused on the free puppies. And that's a lot of times, not all the time, but that's a lot of times what's happening. So if you are curious about, what you're hearing on TV, or, what somebody told you over the phone, and even if you're not my client, you're just curious, you want your questions answered, but you don't want to take that risk of, them taking advantage of you, feel free to give me a call. I don't mind to help in that way. Just give me a call. My number's right here below, and I'll be happy to help. And thanks for watching.